All right, what's up, guys? So we're gonna go over how to get your macros, so you know how to track them. Basically, this is something you can do while you wait to do a nutritional consultation if you haven't done one yet. Um, Keep in mind that these calculators aren't always 100% accurate, so you do want to get a macro check, as we call it. Basically, when you go into your nutritional consultation, we'll do like a mathematical equation based on weight, height, age, all that good stuff, and then we'll find out your true macros. But this will get you started, and this will probably get you by for a while too, until it gets kind of nitty gritty. So basically, all you do is you go into Google here, you type in IIFYM calculator, okay, or basically this stands for if it fits your macros. It's just a website that I like to use. So I've used a few different calculators. This one's always been pretty good. I feel like I like it. So um, once you get into it, it's just going to ask you your basic info here. So I'll just fill it out as if I'm doing it. So I'm 34. I'm 5'8". I'm going to say my current weight is 210. I actually weigh like 195. So I've actually hit my ideal goal. I started at 225, 230. So just by doing this, I've lost, 25, 30 pounds already. But the reason I'm going to put 210 instead of 195 is I wanted to show somewhat what my fitness pal is set up to right now, because basically I'm still using those same macros that I had used the last time I recalculated. Okay, so with your macros, when you want to recalculate is when and only when you hit a plateau. Okay, so every time you lose weight or anything like that, you're not wanting to go back in and do this again. You're only doing this when you plateau. So you could lose, just off of one set of macros calculated, you could lose, 20, 30, 40 pounds, okay, without having to change a thing. Okay, so I have plateaued like maybe once or twice. I just go in here, recalculate, follow the guidelines for what I need for carbs, fats, and proteins, and I'm good to go. So I'm going to say my goal weight is 195. So I'm going to say I'm sedentary. So I am, I'm behind a computer most of the day. I'm standing up. However, it's not being active. You're just standing there. Okay. So most of you are going to fall into this category as well. Some of you might be likely active if you're a teacher, something like that. But, I always, for conservative reasons, say sedentary if I'm not for sure, because basically what this is doing right here is this is going to take away calories from you if you say, you're very active or super active. Even if you work out and stuff, quite often it doesn't mean you're super active. It means you work out. Okay. Being active just means like during the day, like you're required to move around quite a bit. Okay. So like a construction worker or anything like that would be pretty active. Okay. As I said, a teacher or something might be lightly active, but again, think about how much you're sitting during the day as well too. So play with it a little bit. You can always do it twice if you want. And it's not going to be super imperative until you get into like the nitty gritty, like I said, where you're, knocking off the last 10, 15 pounds or something like that. So exercise output, I work out 5 days a week. Sometimes I do more, but I'll just do that for average. And I'm going to say 60 minutes at a time I work out. And then we're going to go, how intense is your exercise? So I would stick around moderate for boot camp. Okay. I know we do pretty intense stuff. However, this will dictate your calorie intake as well too. So you do want to stick to around moderate if you can. Let's see here. So, and then, this basically asks you like how fast you want to lose the weight. So my fitness pal does this too. I always recommend this 15% suggested, just because you're going to, you don't want to lose too fast, because that's when you start to lose your muscle. And, if you didn't care about that, then calorie counting would be fine. But if you do care about actually, containing your muscle and just losing straight fat, this is when the macros play a huge role. Okay. So we're doing macros. So we're doing 15%, which could be, a pound per week or so. So it says I'm about 1,900 calories here. So if you guys don't know what these are here, it's basically performance. So this is TDEE, basically stands for total daily expenditure. So basically this just means like if I wanted to maintain my weight, this is how many calories I would need. So if I wanted to bulk up, I'll go with this many calories, okay? And that's kind of how that works for you guys that have different goals here. So I'm gonna hit click to get my macros. I gotta put in my info. So it is a requirement to get your macros off this. They'll probably send you some emails or something. You can ignore them or whatever you want. But like I said, the calculator is good, so I like to use it for the calculator. Perfect. Okay, so here are my macros. I'm about 1,900 calories, 76 grams of protein, 141 grams of carbs, and then 79 grams of fat. Okay, so these are my macros here. Keep in mind with protein, so if my ideal goal was about 195, okay, so I'd want to think about having a little bit more protein than that. So you want to think 1 gram of protein for every pound of ideal weight. So if you're, 180 pounds, you want to be 150, pounds. So you want 150 grams of protein. Okay. So going over protein is perfectly okay. It's just these that you want to stick under. And then the calories are the biggest thing as well. Okay. So what's most important when you're going to do macro counting? Calories first, okay? Because if you do too many calories, no matter what, you're always going to gain weight, okay? So staying under your calories, slightly under, not ridiculously under. And then protein's the next thing, okay? So if you're hitting these two goals, staying under this one, hitting this one or going above that one, you're pretty good to go, okay? The carbs and fats aren't super imperative. You do want to get close to those numbers. But again, that's going to be like personal preference to how close you get. And you can play with them a little bit. So let me show you my MyFitnessPal here real quick. Okay, so let's see here. Let me go to my goals here real quick. So you'll have to excuse me if I'm a little slow on the MyFitnessPal just because it is a little different than my regular app on my phone. So if you guys are doing MyFitnessPal, definitely do it on your phone because it's way less of a headache than trying to navigate this website. The website's not put together really well. It's not as user-friendly. So anyways, so what I want to do next on my MyFitnessPal here is I'm going to go to my goals. Okay, so I got to go into my goals. I think it might be in settings here. Let's see here. So I'll go profile. I think it's in here actually. Oh, good. It's right there. This thing's a little slow. All right, goals. Cool. So this is how you change your goals in MyFitnessPal. Let's see here. All right, so here's my goals. Again, this will look different on your phone. However, this is the same concept. So I need to get my percentages, okay, as close as I can to what these have me at. Okay, so I'm basically just using these grams here to plug into my MyFitnessPal. Okay, so it says, and mine's a little bit different. I have 1,900 calories. I actually went in and did these myself, so I don't suggest that. Like, I switched some things up myself when I hit a plateau, so I dropped my calories to 1,900. I put my protein up to 40%, which is 190. As you can see here, it wants me about 176. But again, going over protein's okay because I want to maintain as much muscle as I can. So I did drop my carbs a little bit lower here. So I'm pretty close here. And then my fats are decently close as well too. So one thing about MyFitnessPal is you do have to buy the premium version to do your macros like this, to get them right on exactly what it tells you to do. Otherwise, the only thing you can do is percentages. You can't mess with the actual grams, okay? But percentages work good enough for now if you can go ahead and just move them up and down to where it'll hit your goals, okay? So mine aren't perfect right now compared to what this thing wants me to, but they're good for me. So I'm at 100% here. And basically that's where I want to be, okay? So I hope that wasn't too confusing as far as how to put these in. You're basically just playing with these percentages. So if I go down, go up, it's going to give me 166 grams. So, and that's all you can do when you don't have the premium. When you do have the premium, you can change the exact numbers, okay? Once you get super into macro counting, I highly recommend the premium MyFitnessPal. It's like $50 a year, completely worth it. Way easier to navigate, to see your macros right away. You don't have to go back and forth, and it's just a lot more user friendly and just easier to do. So cool. So I have my goals here set. Okay. And then I just want to show you guys how I basically set up my day as far as, what I'm eating and, how I structure my day to make sure that, I'm getting in my macros and getting close to them. So let's see here. Where's my food intake? There it is. So let's see here. Keep in mind that I always do this the night before. I don't change a lot day to day as far as like what I'm going to be eating. But if I know like something's coming up or am I going to have to like have some different choices, I'll try to plug them in the night before so I can have an idea of where my macros are at. Because obviously I learned that like if you're doing them on the go, it's really stressful sometimes, especially if you're doing other things at the same time. You're trying to, get your macros to line up, and it's like, taking you longer than you thought it would. It's just way easier to do it at night before you go to bed. Think about the time, how much time you spend on your phone, on Facebook or watching TV or something like that at night anyway. So just take 5 or 10 minutes out of that time and just plug your stuff in for the day before, okay? So what I do here for my breakfast is I like to have egg whites. I put 2 eggs in my egg whites, so that's my fat. So the egg whites is protein. My fats is my eggs, and then I also do a tablespoon of butter. So a tablespoon of butter is going to give you basically a nice thin spread over some toast. So I do 2 whole wheat pieces of toast. Okay, and basically that sets me up for the morning. I have about 20 grams of protein in there right away in the morning. If you suck at eating breakfast, just drink a protein shake. That's going to give you 20 grams right there. You might have to make up later. Or if you did like a piece of fruit, that'll give you some carbs there. So ideally, when you do macros, you want carbs, fats, and proteins in every meal. So you're not, one meal is not super high, another one's super low. But again, it's flexible dieting. So you can literally do that, like, have a super high fatty meal and have, the rest of the meals not be so fatty. So that's kind of how this works here. So then I do a Max Muscle Arm. So this is just a recovery drink. It has some carbs in it, higher protein intake. This is right after my workout here for my mid-morning snack. Then I go to my lunch. My lunch is always just my leftover dinner from the night before. So basically we had meatloafs here. And then I had some veggies, okay? From there, I have an afternoon snack, which is always the same for my afternoon snack. It's a tuna sandwich with either Miracle Whip or mayo, depending on where my fat intake is for that day. So basically, one thing that's kind of cool about this afternoon snack, it's like a perfect breakdown of macros. So I'm getting 20 grams of protein from my tuna fish. I'm getting, I think it's like, what is it? Where's my carbs at? 24 grams of carbs from my bread, and then I'm getting 5 grams of, it says, let's see, where's my fat? Yeah, 2 grams of fat from my Miracle Whip, okay? So if I did mayo, it'd be 10 grams, okay? So if I need to actually get closer to my fat intake for the day, if I'm short, then I'll do mayo, where, that gets me closer to my goal for that day, okay? So broccoli for dinner. I'm gonna have some potatoes for carbs. I like to do a veggie for lunch and dinner if I can. That just helps you get your micronutrients in, which is basically just your vitamins and minerals, that type of thing. So, and then I'm gonna do some butter to hit my fat goals. Okay, so if you come down here, and the way that you're always gonna check here is you're gonna go to, so it'll be full report here on your app. It'll actually just say nutrition, and it'll show you where you're at as far as your macros, like how close you are to your grams and all that. Here's just a little bit different, but this basically is going to tell me. So if you guys remember, my goal for my carbs on here, I think was like 140 something, I believe. I could go off here, but this isn't 100% accurate to what I need. But 141. So if you see here, I had 138. So I'm within within 3 or 4 grams there. So that's the other thing too. If you have a question like how close do I get or how much is too much? So you want to get within 5 grams of everything for your carbs, fats, and proteins. Okay. So I'm hitting my mark here. If I went, above 5, I'd still be okay. If I go below 5, I'm still okay. Okay. So if I'm 140 grams of, carbs and I'm 135 or 145, I'm still in the clear. Okay. So I think my fat intake was supposed to be 63, so I'm 59 here, which is good again, okay? And then my protein intake is supposed to be 190 grams. I'm 187, so I'm pretty dang good there too. Sometimes I like my protein to be higher, so I might sneak something in later. I think I still have like 1,800 calories here, or not 1,800, sorry, like maybe 180 calories left over for today. So that's what I really like about this too. So like I have some calories left over. Okay, I have 83 calories left over. It's not a ton, but you know what I could do, because I still have room on my carbs. Okay, I have 5 carbs remaining. I have 4 fats remaining and 3 proteins. So I have like this little Snicker bar. It's like a peanut butter Snicker bar. Those things are freaking good. It's only like that big. It's a little. I don't know if I'll be able to fit it in. That's why they call it if it fits your macros, but more than likely, I could probably have that for a little late night snack if I wanted. So one thing I forgot to mention too is I do a protein shake before bed. So a lot of people, when they're dieting, they get hungrier because they're obviously in a calorie deficit. One thing that's totally helped me out is I eat dinner around maybe 6:30, and then come 9 o'clock, without a doubt I'm hungry again. So I just drink a protein shake. Kind of called sweet cravings as well too. It's not perfect, but it gets your protein intake. Without this, I probably wouldn't even hit my protein intake. So that's actually like a definite must. Okay. So, and then let's see here, a snack, or I'm sorry. So one thing I was going to mention, I know a lot of you go to work and you're like, I don't have time to just make myself a tuna sandwich at work or whatever. You could do a protein shake here too with, some fruits or something like that. I won't go too far into depth about, options, just because that's what you're going to do in your nutritional consultation, but just see what works for you. The food you like, you got to be realistic. And I think that's why, the macro counting is the best diet, just because it is going to give you, it is more realistic. It's more adherable. It's something that you can maintain. So if you're diligent with it, you can maintain it for a really long time. Okay. So, let me just go over my day yesterday as well too here to show you. So my breakfast is the exact same as it was today. Mid-morning snack, exact same. Okay. We had sirloin because we had Sunday night. We ended up having some steak. So I had a sirloin leftovers, so 5 ounces there. So again, I just cook. We usually cook something at night, and then we have it the next day because it's a healthy choice. And I add some veggies to it. So if you're not good with cooking every night or something like that, I know a lot of you aren't, then you might just have to meal prep the week ahead of time and just kind of know what food you have. We will do a video on meal prepping as well too, to show you guys how to do that most effectively. So afternoon snacks the same. Dinner, I did 2 Milo, so it was my dinner from last night and my lunch from today, exact same. Okay. I added some corn because I had to get my carb intake up. These are my remaining macros. So I had 37 calories left over for my day. I went over my carb by 5, which again, I'm okay. I'm in the clear there. 2 grams of fat left. And then my protein, I was 12 short. So that's a little lower than I like. I was probably like, 178 at that point. My goal is 190. So I like to be as close to that 190. I really like to be above it. If I can get 195, because I want to be at least, 195 pounds. Depending on my goals going forward, it might be less, I'm kind of going for that, 10% body fat or below. So I may want to, I may actually end up weighing like 185, 175, which I'll probably be kind of little at that point. But what's great about this is when I do that, I just go back in here, I can recalculate, and I can go to a bulking macro plan. So that way, I'm getting a little bit more calories, putting it on the right way, adding just muscle, not fat. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's what my day looks like. That's how to set your stuff up. hope you guys got a lot out of this video, and I'll do another video regarding more macro stuff here in the near future. So we'll see you guys later.